Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
All right, guys, another episode of Shellonomics. We are here with the one and only TMNT MMPR collector, a.k.a. Jeff, who is a huge Ninja Turtle fan and an awesome avid collector as well. So, Jeff, how's it going tonight?
I'm good. How about you? Thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So, what is your first origin of Ninja Turtles?
I could probably actually tell you the first time I ever came across the Turtles, and I can remember being in Toys R Us with my parents as a kid here in London, and I went in for the Ghostbusters at the time. I didn't even know about the Ninja Turtles. I knew nothing about them. They were just coming out, and I remember my mom stopping me at the wall and being like, "Hey, Jeff, look at this." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." Just kept running to the Ghostbusters, didn't even pay attention. And I remember just a short time later loving the Ninja Turtles and then ditching the Ghostbusters. But yeah, that was probably my first time I ever saw them was in Toys R Us on a wall, and I had no idea what they were at the time.
Now, were you on a mission to start collecting these, or were you just gifting them a lot for, presents like birthdays, Christmas? And
they were presents. None of them stayed in the package ever. They were always ripped open. Like, seeing some of these ones now that are mint on card and all, there's not a chance in hell mine would have ever stayed that good. Like, they were open the second they came out, and that stuff was ditched, But yeah, I got, like, when I look back at the prices too and seeing that they were $3 a toy back then and whatnot, like, it's no wonder I had so many toys. Like, my parents gave me a lot for Christmas, so.
Very blessed indeed. Did you have a favorite toy or any of those that were, you played a little bit more, a little more rougher?
It was always, with the Ninja Turtle ones, it was always the mutating ones back then. Like, I really loved those ones. They were, to me, mind-blowing as a 6-7-year-old that you could change it into a baby turtle and whatnot. So those were always, like, my favorite growing up. Like I said, I really liked Ghostbusters. I had an extensive Ghostbusters collection. I even had, like, Teddy Ruxpin, My Pet Monster, like, all these other things. Like, it was so much, but Ninja Turtles was the biggest ones. Any of the giant-sized Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, I loved. I had all of those. I got those as, like, my first big presents for birthday parties. So I try to collect a lot of the big ones now because they're the most memorable to me.
I love those giants, too. A friend of mine actually got those autographed by the original voice actors back when autographs weren't costing an arm and a leg. So,
oh, yeah.
Very nice. So let's do a little chat here about your Instagram page. You have a very huge following. What inspired you just to make a specific collection Instagram?
To be honest, it was probably my wife who gave me the biggest push with the page. When I started really collecting about a year and a half ago, I had a few toys that I would just kind of put down and take a few pictures of on the floor. They didn't really mean much to anyone but me. Just kind of a way of documenting it and whatnot. She's the one that kind of pushed me to kind of put them out there. And she's like, people would be interested to see this. Like, you should put this out there. And I started, if you look at the way my page started from the very bottom and go all the way up, it's really evolved over time with what I've done. Like I said, if you look at the start, it's literally toys on the ground with, not much thought put into it. And then as it goes on, the reels change and everything's growing. And now we're taking, toy photography and whatnot, doing whatever we can, even just around here while I've been off with surgery and whatnot to try and keep the stuff coming. But yeah.
I'm very impressed with this page here. You also said you wanted to come on here and tell your story. So what does telling your story mean in regards to your turtle collection here?
I had a very extensive toy collection, and when I say extensive, I mean, like, now that I look back, it was probably tubs and tubs, boxes and boxes of stuff. Years ago, when I got out of a bad relationship, I had to basically take my 4 tubs of stuff that I had gotten out over the years and basically put it in storage for years. Everything that I had taken in those 4 tubs was from just over the years when my kids were little. I'd be going to visit my dad. My dad's house was where my childhood stuff was, and basically I took a few bins out that was the most memorable to me at the time, but the understanding agreement was I was going to go back at some point, over the course of my life and grab the stuff out. My dad has been missing since 2013. Nobody has seen him, knows where he was, is, whatever. All of my stuff, my uncle actually saw the landlords loading trucks and loads of stuff up and moving it all out, which was basically where all my childhood stuff went. I'm talking, I had extensive collection of Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles. My Power Rangers, I probably got about 95% of my stuff from that. Ninja Turtles, I literally, when I met my wife, I had 20 figures. That was left over from my childhood. And my Ghostbuster collection was obliterated. There's none of that left. Saying that, my dad still has not been seen, heard from, whatever. So we don't know where that is. But yeah, that's all my childhood stuff's gone. Everything. So, and I didn't fully understand what was even in the bins until, like I said, I got my stuff out of storage and I actually opened it up and took a look. And I'm like, oh, like I had a fraction of what I had. So.
So present day, you're on a mission to sort of like your Instagram says, you're like regain your collection. So how are you going about it? Are you going to flea markets, garage sales, and are you collecting toys that are complete, or are you going just for loose? It looks like you have a huge collection in the back. If you guys stick around for the end of this YouTube video, we're going to get a nice little tour of Jeff's collection. But just curious how you're going about it, because every collector has their own way, and it's always very interesting to me.
So it started where it started and where it's ended up is two different things. Like we just started going out. My wife and I are big flea market, thrift stores, whatnot. Right? We're both on the same page that way. We look for the same stuff in thrift stores. We're not in there for an hour. We know what we're in for, and we're in and out. Right? So we'll find stuff in the bags, the toy sections. We go through that all the time. Any figures. So when I first started collecting, I originally said, I'm just going to start getting the old figures. Well, then we start going to all these, stores, and I start finding all this new stuff that I would pass up, and I was actually really cool. But it was never my era of Ninja Turtles that I watched, so I didn't really think too much of it. And then the more we started going to thrift stores and whatnot, I started seeing more and more and more, and we would just grab them. We go to toy expos. We go different towns all over Ontario. We hit as many thrift stores all in Ontario as we can. We'll do a run with like 3 or 4 cities and try and hit 8, 9, 10 thrift stores at a time. That's a lot of where we're both. My wife's a big Monster High fan, so she's in there looking for her stuff, and now I've got her trained what to look for on my side, and she's kind of got me semi-trained what to look for with her stuff, although that stuff all looks the same to me. But I'm learning.
Gotcha. So in regards to your collection, are there some nice finds for those who are listening now that actually still, are you telling us there's still hope that you can find some goodies at flea markets and thrift stores without paying an arm and a leg and without paying eBay? And if so, can you share 1 or 2 of those finds?
Yeah. Well,
Get something.
what about probably
just like,
can I show you a Power Ranger one? Because that's probably my best thrift store find.
sure, yeah, no problem at all. That's fun, yeah. Yeah, if you have one, perfect, yeah.
So this one was a perfect example of what I just found a couple weeks ago. This was a lightning collection dagger.
That's a pretty penny already. My cousin has one. I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, I think my son paid $100 and something when he bought his. I found that for $5.99 at the thrift store.
Wow, in that condition. And now it wasn't in the box. It just had a price tag. Where was it even hiding? Like in a?
It was just on the shelf with the rest of the toys, just sitting right there. So,
see what I mean?
I know what that is, and I had just gotten the original Dragon Dagger a couple weeks before, and I already had the Legacy one. So this kind of, completed the 3 of them for me for $6. But for Ninja Turtle stuff, I don't find a whole lot of great finds with them. It's mostly like loose figures. Sometimes we'll be missing an arm, a head, you know what I mean? But a lot of my loose stuff is from thrift store finds and whatnot. Or like you go to a lot of toy expos and they'll have bins where it's like 2 for $5 or 2 for $4 and whatnot. And local comic book store here right in town that always has a lot of good figures on sale. So.
Well, that's good to know that there's still hope for us out there, because I say we frequent a lot of those in Chicago, and that's what'll happen. It's like, well, in your head what the character should go for, and you go up to the booth and you ask the guy how much, and you hear it, it's like, That's the same as eBay. It's like I'm trying to get a couple bucks. I understand your price, but now do you haggle anybody? Like, is there any advice you can share in regards to trying to get like any of your secrets you'd like to share with us today?
Sometimes just with toy expos, like I just kind of, I don't know, barter with them kind of. Like some of them will just take less, especially if it's the end. We go at the end of the day kind of, because the toy expos here, they go, you pay more at the start of the morning, you pay less at the end of the day, basically, right? So we're only ever in there for a few loose figures and whatnot, so we just go at the end of the day. And most times people are willing to just take deals at that point with whatever cash you got. So we're in there kind of just offering deals, and people usually bite on that kind of stuff. At the thrift stores and whatnot, it's just a matter of whether you find the good bags of stuff or the good finds. Like we can go to a thrift store sometimes, you find nothing, you go to the same thrift store 2 days later and you'll find stuff. It's just a matter of when things get put out, and it's all luck of the draw. So
you guys are just on a spur of the moment. There's not a system where it's like wake up, which is good, because then it keeps it fun instead of having to be a mundane. Well, it's Monday, let's go see what's at the thrift store today.
We usually have, because we have about 7 thrift stores here in town, like that we hit. So we'll take one day and we'll do all 7 in one day here, and then our next day that we get a chance, we'll do out of town. We'll hit 2 or 3 different towns, and we'll hit about 10 different thrift stores, toy stores, anything like that. So.
Now, another personal question, but to put you on the spot a little bit here. I don't know if you were expecting this one, but you mentioned your wife a couple times. So just for relationships and dating, how excited were you when you were able to find out someone actually supports you collecting toys? Because I just had a Facebook post on mine. It says, Bachelor Pro #1, nobody's coming over to say, hey, you got to take all those toys down. So.
Yeah. So it's funny because when my wife first moved in, I'm a big Walking Dead fan also.
Okay.
So I have my Walking Dead comics on the other wall, pasted all over the wall and whatnot, right? I figured for sure they were going down. And I thought when she came in, I'm like, yeah, for sure going down. I had just a lot of stuff up, but I thought for sure, I'm like, I might get away with half of this. And not only did she support it, she encouraged it, she enabled me, she bought stuff for me. She's right in there with me getting the stuff. So yeah, I was very surprised, but originally I thought for sure I was losing half of the stuff on my walls. But my walls didn't look like this back then, though.
Oh, God. Well, now, does that have a woman's touch in the back to make sure it's all organized, or no?
No, that's all me. That's
really? Oh, okay.
Me. That's 100% me.
That's all him.
Wow. All right. Hello there, wife.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, so in regard, now I don't know if you're like me, but I'm not really a fan of having my collection in storage bins. So is pretty much everything to the best of your ability out there and organized for display?
I have a few things in storage. Like a few things that are. I had a lot of wall space at one time, and now the wall space is kind of gone. So when I get one thing, it involves moving 10 other things to make room. I really need a bigger place. That's what I need. So yeah, there is a few things in storage. A few things that I would love to have out. I can't right now. We'd be tripping all over. The stuff that's all over the floor here is already bad enough as it is. But until I get a bigger place, it's I don't want it out. There's no point having it in closets. Like I want to see it now. Yeah,
that's the way I feel. Otherwise, because then you're going to even have it sometimes too, unless you have a real huge mental memory bank of where everything is.
A lot of my loose stuff too. I only usually will have loose stuff if I have a double. Like I buy it in the box first, and then I won't display it. Like a lot of this is thrift store stuff, or if I have doubles of stuff. But most of the time, I want it brand new in the box first before loose.
That's kind of how I was going. My brother and I said, well, my brother has a kid now, and I was telling him the same thing. Like, hey. He said what I was going to do if I ever have kids. I'm going to buy one for him to open and one to keep, just in case, because we both know now you never know what's going to be valuable. As you said earlier in this podcast, Jeff, these were $2, $4, or $5 at Walmart. Yeah. You could have bought a whole bunch, and now they're in the hundreds or even thousands, depending on which one you buy and which ones you have in condition. So just a couple more questions, and then we'll get into the tour here. How much fun are you having on your Instagram page just focusing on toys? You're not there talking about religion and politics. You're just on there for toys. So how much fun is that for you?
It's honestly a blast, and this is stuff that I've always been interested in. I've just never really had the outlet to really do it or someone that would support me to do it. I don't have the creativity part like my wife does. That's why we work great together when it comes to photography, because like she's the great with the aesthetics and making sure that there's stuff to accent the pictures around. Where I'll just kind of throw a figure down and take a picture of it and call it a day. She's the one that actually makes it look pretty and whatnot. So it's a lot of fun working with her on all this. And just we're out there. We're each toy that I find, she's right there trying to find it with me, and she knows the characters' names and whatnot. And I'm having the time of my life working on this right now. Trying to take it bigger. I'm trying to learn and grow every day, but.
Yeah. No, that's how it is. Have you made any like good friends through this? And do you have any advice for those who are trying to grow their own Instagram or social media with just toys? Are there special hashtags you use, or do you post on a certain day, or any advice you got for them?
Right now, I have the time, so I'm trying every day, like trying to post 3 or 4 times a day. What's really helping me a lot is scheduling content, especially when I went in for surgery. I had a whole bunch of stuff already beforehand, and before I went to the hospital, I literally had everything scheduled for the next few days to schedule a draw or post at each times. Just trying to figure out, it tells you on there, when your best times are for each day, each time of the day, what your demographics are. So just trying to plan my scheduled post around those times, based on when my viewers or my page are looking at it. I haven't met anyone yet per se, but I have a lot of people that I talk to, little circle of people I talk to on Instagram quite frequently, more than others. One of my followers yesterday is actually sending me a Leonardo to complete my my mutating set. So it's very nice of him. No anchovies, dude. Thank you very much. But yeah.
See, that's where the fun of collecting comes for me too. I've been a part of many Facebook groups back in the day, and to me, I always say it's like how the old saying is, it's no fun to drink alone. It's no fun to collect alone. It's always nice when you have people with you. Because, like you just said, a buddy of yours just sent you a Leonardo for no cost. I had a buddy, Sumo Mike, back in the day, the very hard, rare vintage figure he sent to me for no cost. Like, Mike, I appreciate you helping me out a lot. I finally wanted to pay it forward and give it back to you. So that's the beauty of collecting, man. It's usually all good vibes. It's like when you go to Comic-Con, just nothing but good energy. No one's in there being a boastful, hey, I got this toy. It's like, no, we're all in this together and happy for one another.
It's really cool seeing everybody else's Instagram pages too, and just seeing some of like I have most of my set is a lot of modern stuff, but it's really cool seeing these people that have a lot of the old retro stuff that's still in the packaging and whatnot. Like I forgot all about what this packaging looked like until I seen it again on their Instagram pages and whatnot, right? So it's really cool the nostalgia you see looking at other people's accounts too, and including my own and whatnot. But yeah.
I guess just from a collector's perspective, do you ever see yourself grading any of your figures? I never got into it, but I was just curious if if you have any insight on that.
I don't know if I would personally take something of mine to get it graded, but I would be interested in buying something that was graded for a good price. Like, I think it's cool to have. I just don't know if I would care to go and get something graded. But I think it'd be cool to own something that was, especially like an original turtle and, mint on card. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any other goals for 2025 and for the future with your Instagram page and collecting as a whole?
I'm trying to just grow this as big as possible. Like I really started putting a lot of focus into this back in April, and I basically already grown 1,000 followers in the last, month and a half, 2 months. I'm really working on this right now while I have the time to do it, and I would love to, eventually, hopefully one day make this a full-time career where you can, do this stuff as a fun basis and, a job. You can go to thrift stores and do it as a thing together and make it more of a thing than just something we get to do when we have time.
You have on your page 2, one of your highlighted pin posts is 50,000 views. Can you explain what that one meant to you?
So that was crazy because that took off in a couple different waves for me. That was just a custom Funko here that my wife had made for me for Christmas. And I posted it one day as I was just trying to find something to kind of post around the place. And I tagged Funko in it, and they ran with it, and they featured it on one of their stories. And within an hour, I was up thousands of views and all that. The first time it had about 23,000 views, and then they featured it again about 2 weeks later after it already flatlined. And after they did it again, they put a little bit more of a promotion into it, and it went viral. It went up to over 50,000 views. But that was them. That was their story features that they gave me.
Oh my gosh! Congratulations on that.
I was hoping for the one, and they did too. The second one just came out of nowhere, but it was okay.
Very, very nice. Well, congratulations on that. Before we start getting into the tour, where can people find you, Jeff? And if you'd like to plug your wife's socials as well, if she has a collector's page, feel free to do so. We're mainly turtles here, but again, collectors are collectors, and it's always fun just seeing the oohs and the ahs of everybody's collection.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. You see my handle there on the screen. I'm also on Facebook, the Ranger Turtle Den, and I'm on Reddit. Not quite as much, but I am on there as well. I just don't have my handle for that right now. But yeah, and then my wife, she just started her own Monster High page. Ambi Loves Ghouls. She's starting her Monster High photography with that too. So.
All right, perfect then, guys. Well, yeah, if you'd like to give us a little tour of your collection, we'd love to see it.
Yep. Take over here. So that's my Funkos over there, all my Turtle and Ranger Funkos. Get my crutches here. So this is a lot of the Mutant Mayhem figures, the Nickelodeon 2012 figures. Everything I have here basically is reproduction for these ones up here on the wall. These are all original 2014 Turtles that I literally bought for 44 cents when the store was clearing them out a long time ago.
44 cents.
But yeah, a lot of it is just all mixed loose figures. I don't have, I'm trying to collect sets of stuff, but I'm only able to get what I can when the thrift stores have it, right? Down here is these are my original rock and roll Turtles here. They're from 1992. This right here is probably my main piece, my most precious one. And when I say precious, I don't mean like it's the most valuable or whatnot, but to me, when I think about what original Turtles were for me back in the day, it's this right here. So this is the most sentimental to me. My giant size NECAs, I hope to get the whole set of them eventually, but for right now, they're all I got.
Holy cow.
So up in here, this is probably like my nicer stuff. A lot of these are original Turtles here. Probably half of these are what I started my collection with here about a year and a half ago. A handful of these and a handful of these, and that was it from my childhood.
Nice. So it looks like you have a shelf for each turtle. I kind of like that instead of going by sets.
I have kind of tried to theme it a little bit, but I mean, I do have a little bit more than what I would like. But I do try and kind of blend them together a little bit there.
Have any sentimental favorite toys out of there, Jeff? Anywhere we walked by any that like are special in your heart, either from a good memory as a kid that you remember, or just something that you found?
So on my Instagram page, I featured this one here at one time. This is a Casey Jones. This is actually Casey Jones that my grandfather bought for me when I was on a summer vacation with him up in St. Mary's, Ontario, the trailer. This was at the hardware store for $3, and I got this from my grandfather.
Oh, very cool.
So like, and it's not even like a very meaningful, like it's a nice figure, but no one would really think anything of it. But to me, it means more than anything, right?
Exactly.
So eventually I would like to get some better shelves where I can display this kind of stuff. But like I said, I wasn't kind of anticipating it to grow as fast as it did. These are my giant sized Turtles down here, what I have.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, I'm hoping to eventually get all of them, but for right now, it's just...
Well, now, did you like the Cobra Kai series? Is that why you bought those, or just because I love the Cobra Kai series?
They were like buy two, get one free kind of thing at the
Oh, okay. So, gotcha.
Yeah, I was just clearing them out. The thing with here in Canada is a lot of times they release a couple of them, but they don't release the whole set. So for these two here, we could get these two in Walmart here, the Leonardo and Michelangelo, but you couldn't get the Raphael and Donatello here in Canada. So I had to order those from the States.
Oh, man, okay.
But yeah, a lot of stuff we can't get here in Canada, so we have to get it from the comic book store or whatnot, or eBay and Amazon.
That's what I'm starting to get into right there. Stop it right there. Now, I need advice for an amateur collector like me so I can get some Shellonomics on my own channel on how do you buy these NECAs, because these guys are not cheap. They are awesome, but they are going to be a premium price. So
yeah.
How did you go about collecting these?
I love these. To be honest, these are only what are available here for us. Like, to get some of the other ones, like, you can't really get them here as much, but I actually got these when the comic book store was clearing them out as well. So I paid a little bit for them, but not as much as I would have had I bought them brand new. They were on a clear out price, but still like $30-$40 at a time. But
okay.
We had a comic book store that comic book day. They run like 2-for-1 promotions.
Oh, wow.
So, and then a lot of stuff in here is Mutant Mayhem, or there's some more NECA Last Ronin figures. The whole top here is all Super 7 figures. Going all along. You see those?
Oh, wow. Now, how do you have those ones hung on the wall? Just with an old hammer and nail, old school?
Yeah. These are nail. Some of the ones here, like the big NECA ones that you were looking at, the green and yellow, I actually have big nails holding these, but then on the back of them are 3M Velcro command strips. They don't ruin the packaging, and they stick to the wall firm enough that they hold it right up to the wall. So that's how I have a lot of these, especially the Super 7s. They don't have hang tabs or anything like that. They're all stuck up and whatnot. And then this little corridor here is kind of the Mutant Mayhem, the newest part of the...
Now, did you put that puzzle together before you framed it, or did you buy it like that?
Yeah, so I bought all those. These
Very
are all
nice.
puzzles from, like, I remember having these puzzles when I was a kid. But yeah,
Me too. I love those puzzles, dude. I would put those together, take them apart, and put it together again. I love all those Rose Art puzzles.
We bought them off Marketplace. We put them together and framed them.
Oh, man, very nice. Even those have gone up in price now, too. It's crazy in the last 5 years.
But yeah, and then over here, this is kind of like my little Power Ranger collection.
Yeah, that's
so my
nice helmet up there.
Now this glass case is about 80% of what from my childhood toys. This is about what I was left with from that collection, what I had in the tubs, and other stuff that I found at thrift stores and whatnot since. But yeah, a lot of this is my original stuff when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, we had that movie Megazord too. I always thought that was a cool one. Did you get the? Hey, you do have the Turtle Power Ranger. I was going to ask you that too, since you like them both. I was curious if you were actually going to get that set one day.
So this is just my Power Ranger wall here, and then in the corners, kind of just like a little bit mess over here, but just kind of a jumble of different variations. So I got like the Rise of the Mutation or Ninja Turtles here. This is kind of all my Bebop, Shredder, Rocksteady figures here. And then this is kind of a collection of like the Nickelodeon ones, a collection of the Michael Bay movie ones, and then just random figures that we find at thrift stores and whatnot.
So how much did you guys invest just for displaying your collection, your shells, all the nails and stuff? You don't have to share the exact figure, but how did you guys, come up with this? Like, this is the way I want to show my collection. For now, again, I know you say you're going to update it eventually when you get a new place, but for now.
The shelves are kind of what I already had. I already had a lot of these shelves on hand. Some of the shelves over there for my loose figures were kind of just like dollar store shelves, whatnot, or just like cheap shelves that way. I never spent a lot of money on them. The glass case for my Power Rangers was something I already had. I kind of just reworked stuff I already had and redisplayed it. So, but and then I buy nails in bulk at the hardware store for dirt cheap. So.
Very smart. No, exactly. Instead of spending hundreds of dollars. And are those just all, are those the real DVDs up there too? The movies up top above your head?
Yep. So those are all the DVDs, the original DVDs, a couple of the cartoons. These are the VHS. Which
yeah, I got mine too. I still got, exactly.
Believe it or not, Secret of the Use took me months to find in a thrift store. Oh, now I see it everywhere. What I'm having the hardest time finding, though, is the original cartoon VHS ones. They're the ones I'm having the hardest time finding.
Are you trying to collect all of them, like the Burger King ones? And good luck. If I ever see any, I'll let you know, because sometimes they have them over here. I have
the Power Ranger ones on the other side over there, so I don't have it. I couldn't watch a VHS tape if I wanted to, but I like the look of them. They're such cool artwork on most of
Oh, yeah. It just brings back memories. That's all we had back then. We didn't have full season, man. That's all we had. We're 2 episodes, and you could watch it the whole week. That's all we had.
Yeah. And then this is just my Walking Dead stuff on this wall, but that's so.
Oh, incredible. So I think you're kind of, I guess you can share this theory, but I think this is probably a good advice for any collectors out there. A friend of mine, John, told me the collection comes to him, and it seems you're kind of the same way where you're looking for it, but you rarely buy on impulse. It looks like you've been sharing all your stores. Yeah, I got this for $2, got this for $3. So how do you let the collection come to you instead of impulse buying?
We just honestly, we go to the thrift stores and we don't have an expectation of stuff. We go and we find what we find. A lot of times now, I actually have so much stuff that I have to leave stuff there, like when I see it. But for a while there, everything was brand new. When you're starting off from nothing, everything you don't have, right? So I was getting a whole bunch for a while. But yeah, no, I don't really go looking for the new stuff that comes out or whatever. Like, I would love it all, but like realistically, you just have to financially can't do it all at once. So I gotta kind of prioritize just kind of what's on clearance at the time or what I really want. So I found a couple really great deals that I just kind of had to. Was it the right thing to do at the time? Probably not, but the deal was too good that it,
Probably makes you feel good too, because there's been tons of people where, unfortunately, and you hope this never happens to us or any other collectors who listen to this or anyone out there personally. It's just when you buy everything and then like 3 months later, it's like your surgery. It's like some people, may say, guys, I'm sorry, my Instagram's got to shut down. TMNT, MMPR collectors got to go, but I need money for surgery. It sucks, but I got to let this go. So GG's to you and your wife for making sure it's within your budget and you have fun doing it. You're not like, oh, I can't afford this or I don't want to buy this. You have money set aside for fun. That's a great way to go.
Yep. No, and she's great at helping me with the content stuff right now because, I can do certain things, but she's the one bending down and taking the pictures and whatnot and helping me with everything. So she's the main reason the content's been rolling since I've been off. So,
and she's the main reason that this interview was a success too. Thank you for being our camera woman today. We appreciate it.
No problem.
You guys have any other last words, Jeff, for us? Thank you so much for spending time with us today, man.
No, just keep following my page. I plan on keeping it growing. So, keep an eye out for what I got coming up.
All right, and usually we end our podcast here with a favorite Master Splinter quote. You got one for us?
Yeah, I made another funny.
Might as well. I got about 5 people that said I made a funny, so at least you actually went the extra mile and said I made another funny. Jeff, it's been great. I definitely look forward to more photographs on your Instagram. We'll be in touch for sure, and happy hunting, and if I see any of those TMNT VHS tapes, you'll be first to know.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
All righty.